Already. Hi, glad you found me. I'm digging. This is the vibe. And I want to go off a little bit, just slightly, before I continue on, um, about sharing what I know of, of living beings on other planets. And I had quite the thing going on in my head. And the only thing that I can conclude here is to say, or to begin to say, God's mad. And the type of mad where he feels like a parent, exhausted. You know, we keep coming up with the same problem with a child again and again and again, despite our, every attempt to help get your kid in that proper thought process. You try everything because she's your child, your creation. Well, it's the same thing. Now, it began by us choosing not to want to hear, not to want to remember any of it. None of it. I really meant what I said in my last two videos, where I said you don't owe anybody that contract. That's something there. Go ahead, pray about it, ask about it, meditate about it, remote view concerning it. Ask a lot of questions, but that's a fact. Now, why is that taken out of that book? There's two super important gifts that just lay it out for you, just completely lay it out for you, where you just can't get it wrong. And that is just wanting to appreciate the fact that you're alive, um, love your family, and love your parents. Enjoy creation. Now, to some people, that might sound a little too sucky, okay? But let's take a look at the world. We are terrified to allow our kids to go play outside. We just don't do that anymore. That's not heard. That's not something that you're likely going to hear again, because it's just gotten to that degree. So there being a possibility of actually having that conversation, and coming to that crossroads, is, I'm going to say, higher side rather than the lower side, as far as what are the odds of it happening, them saying it, the same process, the same breakdown. Yeah. Now, and that's what happened. We just stopped listening, and there was no more, um, there was no ability to reach out. And things, well, I don't need to tell you how things are. You live and breathe. You know how things are. Yeah. It's first things first, really. You know, like, now that it is where it is, and now that you've got all these other concerns that you have to deal with, when it gets right down to the nitty gritty, what does it all mean? What is it all for? What is the purpose? What is it about? And I'm going to repeat the fact that Jacob's ladder is very real. It's exactly right. Exact is quite the word. Exact is bullseye. Like, ding! Yes, absolutely. Because we were all in heaven with him. And we were all going, pick me, I won't screw up being down there. And everyone's going, yeah, you go down there with full memory, of why you're, taking that gift. And a lot of it is we wanted the gift of being able to exist in a physical body. We did and do tell ourselves we will remember. But I mean, there's a whole slew of information that just comes flying out from everywhere. That it can make somebody nauseous, dizzy, possibly not want to get to know what's it all about. And it does just boil it down to one thing: life is a gift to you. The fact that you get to experience it. So that's coming down because we were with him. We said, pick me, Monty, pick me. Right? Yeah. So we incarnate and we go up and down pertaining to our experiences. Like life just about killed me. It just kicked the living shit out of me. I'm going to be blunt. And I remember receiving healing, and then I looked down upon earth and I saw my children, and I said, no, I can do this right. For them, I can do this right. Yeah. And so they wanted to make sure I was going to be strong enough. And, the one thing I think is everybody's battery, everybody's source, everybody's. And that's the heart. We have to stay connected with the heart. That is so important, not the disconnect. And that's exactly where it goes. So that's where it goes down. And it begins with words and information that we share or don't share. So I do have to get this message out, and that really does have to do with mankind taking ownership of as to reason why things are the way that they are. We passed the buck. Who we fooling? Nobody. Us. Ourselves. So I guess if you're gonna do it right. Right. So, this is like the third night now that I've seen blood on the moon. It was red. 3 nights ago, it was red. It caught my attention, and I just went, whoa, I haven't seen that for years. That gave me the heebie-jeebies, like somebody walked over my grave. I was like, holy dynamo. And I had to remind myself, it's the moon. But everything fits together like a story. And it's a matter of getting that story right. So I do want to say that God is pissed. He really is. Our brother, that was one of the reasons that he volunteered, and his mother said to God, to our father, to his father, I can't let him go down there alone. I have to incarnate with him. You know what they're going to do to him. And that was kill. And in fact, indeed, that's exactly what did happen. That really royally sucks. Yeah. And what really, really tugs at my heart, I've seen him on multiple different levels. But the one, while he's complete, it was an age that I saw him. And in that age, he was looking at Earth. And when he learned there were some people that didn't even have the opportunity to know, is when he made the decision. And the reason being is because this world's going to hell. It is. Yeah. It's going to hell. I've seen it. It ends up being this burning ball of fire that just goes off in drifting into, like, I I remember saying to him, looking, going, "That's Earth?" And I looked at him and he yes. And I said, "What about humanity?" And he said, "Well, take a look." And there was this whole new world. And I said, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Game." Thanks for having my back. You know? Yeah. It's nice when somebody feels your heart, right? So I figure, well, that's the least that I can do, knowing that he is real on so many levels. At the age I saw him, he was maybe like between 12 and 15 years old. And he was looking at the earth while he was calculating our experiences and who we were. We just don't remember where we come from. We don't remember our lineage. And that is a problem. But if we get to know our lineage and know where we come from, if it's reintroduced. Now, this is what I know for a fact that Jesus was saying while he was walking on earth was, hey, listen, when creation was created, you too were with God. I was there, is what he's saying to you. So he's saying to me, he's saying that to all of us, you know? And it's our luck if we happen to click in and remember it. That's a good thing, you know. Sadly enough, you know, well, as well as I do, mankind has really laid waste. You know, some of the best parts are our creativity and our um, ability to express pertaining to what life experience we incarnated to experience. Like, what were you looking forward to before you were born? You. Now, talking this way, it does. It triggers memories, whether we want to go there or not. We get flashes, and then we ask ourselves, were we dreaming? Is this real or memories? You know, uh, yeah. And point of the matter we have to stay focused on who we are and be honest with ourselves as to what do we want out of this life? What is your purpose? Why would you incarnate? What did you desire? What did you think? You know, when you stop and take a look at it for what it really is and realize this is just, physical body for hire, basically. You buy clothes, you know? Yeah, yeah. But, it's stealing somebody's experience, it's stealing somebody's hard worked, earned money. And stealing is just not cool. It's just really not cool. But, uh, that's what happens, and what's hijacked is our memory and the knowledge, the ability or the opportunity to know the truth and base all your decisions on truth rather than, you know, that rabbit hole. I don't want to be running in that rabbit hole. I don't want to be chasing no rabbits. Yeah, and I'm definitely not Alice in Wonderland. So, you know, I'm an Earth person, and I'm looking at that moon and I'm thinking, wow, wow, it's really close. Like it's the ring around the moon is a scarlet red. It's an actual red, and the moon is orange with a little bit of yellow. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad this is still rolling. I'm sorry for going quiet, but I got the EBGBs, and I just had to feel myself or into feeling or knowing that I am safe. And on that particular note, um, I hope in those few minutes of silence, at least you were thinking um, of anything that I had just said as to where you are right here and right in the now and your purpose in life, your reason for being here. Why would you choose existence? I mean, let's talk about birth before we talk about death. But next, I said we'll talk about aliens. But this is where I really, care to put an emphasis on. I've had some spectacular experiences in my life. And I really, truly mean spectacular. I am so blessed that it sounds like BS. It sounds like brown sugar that, I eat, but then, one of my children said, and I think I shared that, hey, take a look. Everything you experience, this guy does too. And he presented Enoch. And I thought, how interesting is that? Because I kept inquiring about Enoch, and I mean, well into my 30s, and I wasn't getting a straight answer from anybody outside of, he might have practiced magic, and I was like, what? 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 And then I learned the two different seeds there, of Enoch actually having the same name, but the two different bloodlines, two different seeds. One's a light Enoch, and which translates for God or to God. It translates for humanity to God. Um, and from God to humanity. Um, the other was a seed, and the descendant, of course, being Cain, because Cain was the opposite seed to Abel, right? Yeah. So it was kind of like that. It's almost like even if they really tried, to be, I mean, and I'm sure they are, okay. Um, there's that understanding that that's really not going to break anytime soon unless there's an absolute complete conversion, um, um, uh, succumbing and saying, you made me. It's really not cool that I'm, all this attitude. And the reason is because who made you, me, and every other living being on every other planet and every other galaxy in the universe. Yeah, yeah. He knows it well. He knows it well. Okay, so I'm gonna end this one right here. I have to make another one. And thanks for sticking it out with me. I really did hear some activity, and it's been making me nervous. Um, so I want to say thanks. Okay. Um, Share, like, I bid you adieu. I'll talk to you very soon. I'm gonna say ciao, amore. Ciao, ciao, ciao.